So a core banking is just a system that a bank uses to manage their entire banking operation. I mean, it doesn't mean that there are no associated services that adjuncts that banking, core banking, but it's the hub of everything a bank does. And this contains so many modules within itself. You have things like customer relationship management, and within that,
so on one hand, people are thinking, so banks have access to this kind of system. We thought the core banking is only somewhere you post, into the various GLs. But apparently it has all these nice modules around it, especially Finacle. So why do banks struggle with innovation, right? Why is innovation right now in the forte of fintechs? And to ask that, I want to ask a question. So most of us that are system specialists here understand systems, the hierarchy of systems from that popular Gartner diagram, if you remember that diagram. So first of all, you have the systems of record, then you have the systems of differentiation, then you have the systems of innovation right on top. So that 3-layer thing. Where would you put the core banking in this stack?
Well, the core banking will sit in the first layer, which is a system of records, because it controls all the details of your customer banking relationship. And it's not a system of innovation. I remember then in one of the banks I worked with, we tried to put card management into the core banking. And at some point, we started seeing that it gave a different impact to the performance of the core banking itself. So there are some things that when you bring them into the core banking layer, you are looking for trouble. Performance issues will start. Then they start telling you, you have to remove all this customization if you must work effectively. So it's a system of record. Yeah, the core will do posting in addition to some other modules that surround it, but it's not so much what you can begin to add innovations. Of course, today, many core banking has now come with a lot of interfaces for APIs, and they are becoming better and better by the day. Now, even Finacle is going into the cloud. They are making it more ready for future of banking.
Interesting. Okay, so we're going to the second phase of the discussion now, and that's now looking at what it will take to test an application, a financial application, and then to release it into the production or the live environment. The first thing I would like to discuss is who should be on the team and then what kind of skills they should have. And this is not really in the banking domain, but in the financial domain. So fintech, payments, banking. So if anybody is in the fintech space here, that applies to you. I've had, right, from people that have written software for other verticals like manufacturing, like Dangote writes a lot of software for automation, and all that, or people that have written software for aviation. And then suddenly somebody tells them, hey, you have experience, your CTO material. So I have this startup idea, come and be my co-founder. And they're like, yes, I can do it. It's not Java. I've been writing Java for 15 years and I know how to use React, and whatever it is. And I'll just get a few guys that know how to write .NET. Yeah, we're good. Is that really how it works? Is that the kind of skill you need to write payments or financial software?
Well, I would say not exactly. Yes, experience counts in terms of knowing how to code. If it's just about knowing how to code, now there are 13-year-old, 9-year-old that can code very well, and even ChatGPT can do it better. But it doesn't mean that you can write a full-blown payment application without some guidance. So what I meant to say is that payment solutions first start with the business process understanding. Somebody must be able to define, when you talk, let's say lending, for example, you are going to do eligibility. What do you consider to make somebody eligible? Just because you know how to write Java doesn't make sure that you can start and end it. So you need somebody at least in the capacity of either a business analyst that understand that domain very well, a domain expert, and people that understand how to craft the product very well to meet the need of the people. You need those kind of people on your team. You need the engineers. Of course, this is what we now say is a Java guy, it's a .NET guy, they can write this, write that, programmers, architect, designers. Yes, no doubt. Then you need the QA. And again, we need to stress that the developer is not a tester. That somebody has developed and he has tested is not enough. You need a QA engineer, somebody who can then do all kinds of tests. And you must be able to do various kinds of tests. You need people that can look after your infrastructure, that knows how to define what happens if you are going to use a cloud architecture. Your developer may not understand any jack about that cloud architecture, but he may be able to write a beautiful code. So you need people who should be able to help you streamline what happened in that place. I mean, sometimes developers are not even good DBA. They may not even be able to put indexes. I've seen things happen. A developer write a code, there's no single index on the database. I mean, but it's a good developer. So you need back office. People are going to clean up mess that happens in reconciliation in disputes. You need a team for that. And then you need support people. Those who are going to manage the system after the developer has done the work. Those are the kind of people you must be able to put together to say you are creating a financial app.
Thank you. Let me try and summarize. First of all, you need people that have domain experience. If you have experience in a specific technology, but you don't understand the domain, you need to go and get domain understanding to start writing software that works in that domain. And then you need all these people you've spoken about. I want to be realistic, right? Somebody has not even gotten funding. The person is bootstrapping, collecting money from friends, family, savings, and selling their Bitcoin because they want to launch a startup. Do they need all these rules from the beginning? What do you think? Do they need all these rules?
Maybe not. I mean, there's a room for everybody to start small, start from somewhere. You can call two people together, write some piece of code and try to test what happens. So from day one, you may not, but when you find out how some startups are, you find out that is it that one of the co-founder understands the domain very well. So he knows what he's talking about, what he wants to achieve, and he can guide the developers around him to achieve that. Or it's going to bring closer to him somebody that understands that. Say, oh, get me a lending expert. You want to be a lending. Because if you don't know it, you don't know it. You may put together something and then at the end of the day, it's a mess in your hand. So you can trade off some things because, I mean, you are starting small, of course. But as the business grows, there are certain things that you cannot do without, except you want to really create a mess of the entire payment system you are creating.
Interesting.